Okay, so let's say that you have looked for Kahoot and you can't find one that meets your needs, then you are always able to create one of your own. So you would go up here to where it has New Kahoot, click on that. The first thing it's going to ask you is what type do you want to create? There's a quiz, which is the most common one, traditional Kahoot. There's also a Jumble one. This is relatively new, and in this case, your answer choices have to be arranged in the correct order. So if you were doing one with, least to greatest, you could definitely do a Jumble where they would have to put the numbers in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. If you were doing something with history and you wanted to put the events in chronological order, that would be a good one. You could also do the events of a story, type the events in, and then the students have to put them in chronological order. I've also seen this done with spelling words where the teacher will read out the word and the students have to arrange the letters in the correct order to spell the word. So we'll go through Jumble here in a little bit, but I did want to start with the quiz because that is the most common one that we do see. Discussions and surveys, this age is not overly used. So you kind of want to stick with quiz and or Jumble. So you would click on quiz. The first thing you're going to have to do is title it. It doesn't really matter what you title it, especially if it's only visible to you at this point. If you did want to make it public and change it to everyone, then you would want to title it with something that when somebody did a search, a search for something like this, yours could come up as a possibility. So let's say that we wanted to do short A words. Okay. A short description is also required, but it doesn't have to be too thorough, especially if you're not making this a public Kahoot. So let's say we're going to match picture to the word. Okay. And then the audience is the only other thing that's required. And again, that is based because of the school, or excuse me, because of the search parameters. And so you would always want to choose school. Okay. So you click OK, go. Now that's going to take you to the question creating screen. Okay. So we are going to add a question. Okay. We get to this screen and we want to match the picture. To the word. Okay. Now here is where you can insert a picture. You can either use one that they have preloaded for you to use. You can upload a photo that you've taken or something off of that you've downloaded off of, like, say, Google Images or something, or you can even put in a YouTube video if you wanted to do something like that. So I'm going to choose one from the images that they have preloaded, and I want a short A word, and I'm going to choose the cat. So my answer choices, remember, you need to have at least two. So I'm going to put bat, rat, cat, sat. Okay. The answer choice 3 is the correct one. I want to make sure I highlight that one. And if I want to adjust the time, the default is 20 seconds. So if you want to adjust it, you're going to need to do that manually. You can do it to 30 seconds if you think they need more time, 10 seconds if you don't think they need as much time. It's up to you. Okay? So then you would click on next. That puts that question there. And then you would just keep adding questions. Okay? When you're done adding questions, you would click on save. All right. Now, to see what it's going to look like from the student view as well, you could here from this screen, you could click on preview it. Remember that this is the side that shows on your screen. This is what the students would see. All right. So again, you have a choice of classic or team. Okay. It's generating the PIN number. So they would go and they would type in their PIN number. This one is 2544809. type in your name. Okay, so it shows up that I'm ready. When everybody's ready, you would click on Start. Okay. Here's the directions. Match the picture to the word. Here's my picture. Bat, rat, cat, sat. I would choose C, which is that one. And then it tells you, who got it right, who got it wrong. And then it will end the game at when all the questions are done. Okay. All right. So we could leave the preview site. Come back here, I'm done with it. So you would click on I'm done. And again, that's going to permanently save it into your Kahoot. So this will be under My Kahoots for you anytime you want to play it. Now, let's say that you do get it done to a point where you want to make it from private to public. You would just click on that, make it public instead, and then that way people could do what we've done in the past, which is searched and duplicated and edited and shared and allowed other teachers to use what we've created. All right, so that's how we make a quiz. Okay, let's say if we wanted to make a jumble, so we would click on jumble instead. The initial thing is going to be very similar, right? We need to have a title. So let's say that we're doing numbers least to greatest. Okay. Description, here we could put, putting numbers less than 20 in order, and that way if we do ever make it public, then this is going to be part of our search parameters. We have to make the school the target audience, and you can put in a cover image if you want. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Okay, so here we're going to add the jumble question. Okay, so the question would be put in order the following numbers. Okay, now we're going to when we put in our numbers, we want to make sure that we put them in the correct order. When the students go to play, it's going to automatically randomize them. Okay. Again, time limits here. We could also add images to this one. Let's say we wanted to do something, math related. They've got lots of different things that we can choose from. You don't have to put in pictures. It's just, something else you can do. Okay. So let's see what this looks like when we go to preview it. Same thing. Now with jumbles, there is no team mode. So this would definitely have to be the classic one-to-one mode. We're just waiting for that pin number to come up. 380302. We hit enter. Again, you're going to type in your name. And then once everyone's typed in, click on start. It says put in order the following numbers. Okay, so it has jumbled them up. Now over here, we would need to drag these. This is what the students are doing into the correct order. So this one is a little bit more complicated, right? That's why you give them a little bit more time. They can change their answers around if they feel like they've made a mistake. When they have everything ready the way that they want it entered, then they would have to actually push this button down here that says they're ready to go. And then it'll tell them if they're correct or not, and then it'll show what the correct order is. Okay? So that's a little bit about how a jumble works. And again, you can get the same kind of results that you can get on the quiz as well. Okay? When you were done, you would click on I'm done. And again, it puts it under My Kahoots. All right. So let's say that you've played a Kahoot with your class and you want to see how everybody did. So you would go over here to My Results. And here are all the ones that I've done in the past with my classes. Here's the ones we just did. I've pulled up, let's see, reducing fractions. And again, I'm just showing what it kind of looks like. Okay? It's going to download it as an Excel spreadsheet so that you can use that spreadsheet functions to help you out. The first tab is an overview. At the end of every, well, it'll tell you first your class averages here, and then it will. At the end of every Kahoot gives the students the option to do a little survey. Did they like it or did they not? Type of a thing that can give you feedback if you need it on how to change it. When you click on the next tab, it says Final Scores. Here it'll tell you student, how many correct they got, how many incorrect they got. Okay, for the question summary, it'll list, okay, here is the question, here is what they put as their answer and whether they got it right. Obviously, if they got more points means they got it faster. Okay, if they got it wrong, it'll tell you which answer choice um, that they chose, and then it'll actually even break it down further and go question by question and tell you what everybody, individual students put, so that you can really get a breakdown of who needs additional help, what any common misconceptions are, um, and go from there with your instruction. So hopefully you found this helpful as a way to get started using Kahoot in your class and with your students. If you have additional questions or problems arise, please feel free to contact me. I'll do my best to help out in any way I can. If there's something that I don't know off the top of my head, I will definitely look into trying to find it for you. Additionally, on the Kahoot site themselves, they do have a support tab where you can contact them directly. Um, and there are also YouTube how-to videos out there on Kahoot as well that you could check out. But thank you very much for your attention and have a good afternoon.